What is up, guys? MJP back again once again for another tier list, and as I'm sure you've worked out already, we are here to rank all of the Pokemon types. We have Goated, Bangers, Solid, it's a type I guess, and Never Use Ever. So I put it in sort of as you go around the region getting Pokemon. So we have the 3 starter options to begin with. Grass types. Obviously, with me, there is going to be a little bit of bias towards the grass type because it is my favorite typing. I know they have a lot of weaknesses. I am aware of that. But I think, to be perfectly honest, I think it is a solid typing. I know it's not banger level because of the amount of weaknesses. But you definitely can get some usage out of the grass type. I think water type is just plain and simply goated, especially in terms of Nuzlocks and usability in Nuzlocks. If you have a water type on your team, you are pretty much set. I think going through a game with just water types would probably be as good as going through with a Pokemon of every single type. Fire type, I think, is just banger. They're very good offensively, so they're very good at taking things down quickly. And a lot of good Pokemon have the fire type attached to it. So there we have the starter Pokemon done. Nobody's gone into the bottom 2 tiers yet. And I'm not entirely sure anyone will make it into the very last tier. That is a very extreme last tier. Electric is pretty good. Not the best defensively, but they're a bit like fire, so I'll put them in banger. Normal types are actually really good. I'm tempted to say goated, especially with my experience with normal types in Nuzlocke. So I'm going to put normal type in goated as well, actually. I'm thinking of very defensively strong Pokemon. Bug types, again, have a lot of weaknesses. And I'm not... If you took out the Pokemon in bug types with steel, like Durant and Scizor, or bug type Pokemon with dual typing, I'm not entirely sure that the bug type makes it into the top 3. So I think bug type is going to go for me into it's a type, I guess, because it is still usable, but only because of the dual type bugs with things like steel and fairy. Dark types. Ooh, I do like dark types. There are a lot of good Pokemon with dark typing. I think they're a banger type, to be honest. I think they are really good. Don't have too many weaknesses, which is always nice. Obviously, fairy reduced their usability a bit. But otherwise, they're only weak to bug and fighting, and bug types aren't the best. So you really just only got to look out for fighting types like normal until Generation 6. But I think they go banger. I don't think they're as good as normal types, at least at the moment anyway. Flying types are usually pretty good. You usually need one in most playthroughs to fly. But yeah, they're like fire and electric. Not too much bulk, but they are pretty good. I'm just debating whether to put dark down as a solid, because some dark types don't actually have the best movesets, especially level up movesets, and they're not very accessible. So I'm going to put dark in solid, actually. And you got flying type still in banger. Dark types are definitely above grass types though, 100%. I think flying goes above electric though. Rock types, usually pretty good defensively. Rock type moves are horrendous. You almost never want to use a rock type move. The only one I can think of that's 100% accurate off the top of my head is Smackdown, and that's 50 base power. Stealth Rock is a good utility move though. That always helps. Sandstorm teams. But I think rock types, in all fairness, I'm going to put them in with Bug for now. But I'm going to put them slightly ahead of Bug because they are a lot more defensive. You get a lot more usage out of rock types. Fighting types, I think, are solid. I don't think they're amazing. They don't get... there's not much variability in the moveset. You pretty much only get fighting, rock, ground moves, potentially elemental punches, with a lot of the fighting types available, especially if it's pure fighting. So I think I'm actually going to put fighting types below grass, in my opinion. I think grass is sort of like the middle typing, which you've got to set yourself up for. Ground is definitely a banger. Having the immunity to electric is really, really nice. I think because it's immune to electric, I think it actually goes ahead of electric. And I'm tempted to say flying as well. Maybe even fire. I think ground type is close to goated. It is a really, really good type, both defensively and offensively. So we're going to put that there. Poison type in general isn't actually that good until Fairy comes along. Even with Fairy, I don't think it does much. They're good defensive Pokemon, but offensively they're not that useful at all. I think I'm actually going to put Poison in It's a Type, I guess. I don't think it's that good. I actually don't. There are a lot of good Poison type Pokemon, but as an actual type, it's not fantastic compared to some of the other ones we've got here. Ghost types were completely useless until Generation 3. If you can get it early game, if you're doing like a normal Nuzlocke, then, or even a hardcore one, then they're probably goated. I think they drop off later on, but the immunity is always nice. I'm going to put it top of solid for now. I think ghost types are just better than dark types because of the immunities. Well, dark type's immune to psychic. It's not weak to itself as well. Okay, I'm going to put dark ahead of ghost. Yeah, we're going to do that. Psychic types are amazing. You can get ranges from offensive to defensive mons, setup moves. Really, really nice. You don't tend to have both an offensive and a defensive mon though, which is my only problem with psychic types. So I think they go just below ground, because ground type you can get a defensive mon which can hit really, really hard. But oftentimes with psychic types you can hit hard, but you take one hit and you're dead. Ice types are probably going to go in as a type, I guess. A lot of my favourite Pokemon are actually ice type, like Weavile. I love Weavile. Glaceon's really good as well. Mamoswine, but like I said earlier, apart from Glaceon, that's down to dark and the ground typing. I think if they were just pure ice, then they'd struggle a lot more. I do prefer ice over the rest of them in It's a Type, but I think the types in solid that we have right now definitely show ice up a lot. Which leaves us with 3 types left. we'll do dragon first, and then we'll come to the two of the newer types. So dragons are obviously very good types. I think dragon types are they're pretty darn good. They resist a lot, not too many weaknesses. It is super effective against itself, which kind of sucks. But dragon types in general are just really, really good. Like the base stats are just insane. I'm gonna put it just above psychic, but below ground. I think ground is actually a really underrated typing. So let's do steel first, because steel was introduced earlier. Steel types are pretty much the same as dragon types, but can't often hit as hard. There are some offensive steel types, but that's usually because of the other typings it has. I'm thinking of like Lucario. Durant is actually I'd probably say one of the best bug types. Magnezone, which is still pretty defensive in all fairness. So I'm going to put steel. I'm going to put steel just ahead of psychic, but below dragon. I think steel and dragon are very similar types in the way that they should be used. And then fairy types. Fairy types are good. They're not goated, I don't think. I don't think they've quite reached that level. And I think, as of right now, they're like a new upcoming psychic type. But a lot of fairy types are also psychic type. They did just kind of chuck fairy type onto almost any psychic type. So that could be why I'm thinking that. So yeah, I think right now, I'm going to put fairy in between psychic and fire. I'm going to drop electric down. I don't think, it's too weak, electric for me. And then I'm going to put bug and never use ever, just to mix it up. And I'm actually going to put ground in goated. So that is our Pokemon types tier list. Grass type isn't too bad. I'd love grass type to be up here. But I do think it's going to sit just in there towards the back end of solid. Yeah, water, normal, grounds. I think ground type even overtakes normal potentially. But I'm going to leave it there. But yeah, as always, let me know what you think in the comments below. This is just my opinion. And yeah, until next time, guys. Peace.